Hello, I'm DeMarcus LeMon, and I'm sitting here with LaQuanta Mack. She's the author of Stranger in My Bedroom and the founder of Pretty Tags Evolution. So, how are you today?
I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine.
That's good. Congratulations on your new novel.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Here's her novel. It's available on Kindle and Amazon right now. It's A Stranger in My Bedroom. I love the cover art.
Thank you.
Thank you
so much.
That's you?
That's me on the cover.
Yes. Nice.
That's
Very
me
nice.
on the cover.
Is it a painting or is it an actual portrait?
It's an actual portrait. It's a picture of me. Funny thing is, I was trying to figure out what I wanted the cover to look like. That was a real important part for me. And I had written down all these different ideas. And when I took that picture, I knew that was the cover that I wanted.
Yeah.
And fortunately, my graphic designer was able to help bring that to life for me.
And definitely brought it to life. Definitely brought that to life. Tell me a little bit about the Pretty Tags Evolution.
Pretty Tags. Well, it's kind of something that I came up with. It was initially it was just something for me that I used to write different things down in my journal, and I was writing something one day, and I was just like, God, I want an idea to help me. I always would post different little inspirational things and whatnot. And I said, I want an idea. I need to bring this. I need to make this original. And I was thinking, and I just started writing different things down. And somehow I was able to I came up with that. From looking back at my notes, and I just came up with Pretty Tags, and I got the whole meaning behind it is personally removing everything that traps you. Because I feel you have the power to make things happen. You have the power to control your future. And the hard part is accepting that, because sometimes it's much easier to think things are beyond our reach when they're not. So that's where that came from. The whole Pretty Tags thing, thought it fit me pretty well. It would be kind of catchy, and it would catch your attention before it started to give you the lesson. So that's where that all came from.
So you're empowering women to find their pretty from the inside out?
From the inside out. I empower women to be pretty from the inside out. It starts with your mind. I always say, think pretty, be pretty. If you don't have the motivation to do and think positive things, you'll never accomplish positive things. And unfortunately, so many people, not that they don't know it, it's difficult to do, especially with just life. How things go on, how things happen. You have a bad situation. It's hard to think pretty sometimes.
Right.
Ooh, honey,
With the situation going on.
You don't know what to do, but you have to remind yourself. It's not about what everyone else sees, or it's about me on the inside. I have to make this choice for me. And, just encourage yourself. Be pretty. Start from the inside out.
Yeah, your posts are very inspirational on Instagram and Facebook. I always get motivated when I see it. Everything's really positive, and that's something well needed, especially on social media, with all the distractions and everything, all the other things that go on, but it's really good to be able to go to your page and get uplifted and, get something, positive to come out. It really is.
Thank you. That makes me feel good to hear.
Oh, no problem. Yes, I'm really truthful. So, how long have you been writing for?
Well, I would write poems and different little things, for as long as I can remember. But to be honest, I didn't think that being an author was within my reach at one point. So I would just kind of write little things for myself in different journals, and I never wanted to expound on it because I thought it's going to be too hard, it's going to be too difficult. And one day I was just, someone told me I really like your way with words. You have a wonderful way with words. And I was really encouraged by that. So I decided, maybe I can write a book. And I literally opened my laptop with the Word document, and I started typing. I didn't know a blueprint for what the book was going to be about. I didn't predetermine what was going to happen or the characters. And it's funny because I was joking with a pretty seasoned author friend of mine. And I said, when you wrote your first book, did you ever think about changing the characters' names? And he was like, I did, but I didn't bother. He was like, why do you ask? I said, because I think I want to change all of my characters' names. And long story short, I didn't, but that's how informal it was initially. Because I didn't think of, these wonderful names that had any great meanings behind them. I just literally typed. I did what I love to do, and it was so easy for me to do that.
How often did you get writer's block? Because writer's block happens.
Yes, it happens. When it would happen to me, as far as I didn't know which way I wanted to go with something, I would just put it away for a little bit. I wouldn't beat myself up with it, and I would say, I'll just go back to it later. I can't tell you how many times I closed my laptop down like, I don't know what I'm doing. And when I opened my laptop up, again, it seemed like I was refreshed. And I just made the characters do what they wanted to do. And I had to control myself to say, it's LaQuanta that has writer's block, not the character. Okay. You see what I'm saying? So when I gave the power to the character, they took over the story. And that's how I learned to kind of control it almost, because stuff that I wanted them to do, I couldn't really figure out how I wanted to word it. But when I took me out of it and allowed the character to come alive, I was able to produce Stranger in My Bedroom.
So, what happens when you think you have the right person in your life, but in fact, you know nothing about them? Have you ever had this situation occur in your personal life?
I have met so many representatives.
Right. Exactly.
Yes, I have. I had that happen. I think my main character, Peyton, can relate to me. She can relate to so many people. And not just women. She can relate to men, women, whomever is in a relationship with somebody, whether it's your best friend, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband, or your wife. You have been in a relationship with someone that their actions surprised you. Exactly. You didn't see it coming. And I think that's where Stranger in My Bedroom.
I know a lot of people can relate to this, because that tagline, everybody, there's not probably one person that could not relate to that specific situation. So that was a very powerful statement, very intriguing as well. So, the book just came out yesterday, but I'm going to download my copy just as soon as we get done with this interview. And so I can get into it. I love to read, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a wonderful read from the tagline and the synopsis.
I'm excited for you to read it, and I hope you enjoy it.
Yes, definitely. Also, so how long? So since you've been writing, and and also, what else would you like to share with the women out there, and with anyone who might be planning to write, or in the beginning stages of their writing?
Anyone that's planning to write any type of novel that you plan to publish, read everything. Research. That's what I had to do. I didn't know anything about the publishing industry when I decided to write a book. I had always been an avid reader. You barely ever saw me without a book in my car or in my purse or whatever. I never leave home without my Kindle. now that I have, the ebook revolution that's kind of taken over. But I would say research everything. You have got to educate yourself. And ask questions. Ask a lot of questions. And that's what I did. I asked a lot of questions. A very seasoned author friend of mine always I went to him and asked whatever. And he always gave me sound advice. And I would say, find someone that's going to give you advice, and they're going to give it to you because they want to help. They want to help you. Not because in the long run it's going to help them some type of way, but the true diamonds of knowledge come from someone that has no benefit to gain from it. And that's all I can say. It's just research. Read and research and inform yourself on what you need to know in order to make it happen. Anyone that's planning to write any type of novel that you plan to publish, read everything. Research. That's what I had to do. I didn't know anything about the publishing industry when I decided to write a book. I had always been an avid reader. I mean, you barely ever saw me without a book in my car or in my purse or whatever. I never leave home without my Kindle. Now that I have, the ebook revolution that's kind of taken over. But I would say research everything. You have got to educate yourself. And ask questions. Ask a lot of questions. And that's what I did. I asked a lot of questions. A very seasoned author friend of mine always I went to him and asked whatever. And he always gave me sound advice. And I would say, find someone that's going to give you advice, and they're going to give it to you because they want to help. They want to help you. Not because in the long run it's going to help them some type of way, but the true diamonds of knowledge come from someone that has no benefit to gain from it. And that's all I can say. It's just research. Read and research and inform yourself on what you need to know in order to make it happen.
I saw on your website, prettytext.net, you had gave a shout out to Dr. Maya Angelou.
Yes.
How has she inspired you?
Dr. Maya Angelou has inspired me so much, not just in the literary world as far as writing is concerned, but just as empowerment. I remember in middle school and high school reading her works in, English or literature class, and I fell in love with Phenomenal Woman. So many years ago, that poem. I think I can probably recite it with my hands on top of my head and my eyes closed. Because I love it. Because to me, it was so inspiring and so empowering to women. Especially being written and published in a time where women's rights were kind of a touch and go for a moment. And she just inspired me to do great things. And I feel like when you find someone of her caliber, even if you don't meet them in the flesh or what have you, there is just something about their grace that rises and allows you to raise your caliber of what you want to do with your life. And I will say that she was one of those people that did it for me. Every single thing that she probably has ever published, I've read. Not just once, like over and over again. And she really inspired me. all the way down to the end, everything about her was just so positive. I don't ever remember her being planted in a negative realm. Everything she always promoted was always positivity, no matter how many negative things may have been surrounding her or came her way. She always somehow, in a way, found a way to be pretty. She always found a way to remove anything that could possibly trap her. And that is why she's such an inspiration to me. Yeah. I think when Dr. Maya Angelou passed away, not just the African American community, but the literature community as a whole lost a wonderful gem. And, may she rest in paradise, because she was such an inspiration to me in my life and just, things that I want to do.
Speaking of gems, I'd like to give you something. The company is Gemini Entertainment Enterprise, and it's not I, but the Gem and I. That's the tagline for our company. Mm-hmm. Basically, when we're going through different things in life, we have to basically, this is a gem.
Okay.
And I want you to have that, and whenever you're going through, because the diamond is the hardest substance. It's the hardest gem that there is, and it's created from the softest substance, which is carbon. Mm-hmm. And through the pressure and time, the volcano erupts and crystallizes the diamonds that's deep in the mantle of the earth. And then after time and pressure and the heat, the diamond rises to the surface. And that's the process of the diamond. And also the pearl is formed deep in the mantle of the ocean. And when sand gets into the shell of the oyster, it irritates the oyster. So the oyster secretes this white substance to protect itself as a defense mechanism. And that substance eventually turns into a pearl, and that's why you find the pearls. So basically, if you don't have the irritation, and if you don't have the pressure and heat in life, you're never going to develop the gem that you need in order to make it. So whenever you see that, keep it somewhere, store it somewhere safe, and whenever you see it, like if you're going through it, just look at it and say, you know what, it's not I, but it's the gem that's in I. I believe that we all have that gem in us, because we have this treasure in earthen vessels, so that the excellency of power is of God and not of us. And that's another thing, about Gemini.
I love it.
So I want you to take that with you, and just, just think about it whenever you go through anything. Just look at it. Just remember, that our help comes from God, and that everything that we need is within us.
Great. I will. I really. Wow. That's wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll put this in a safe place.
And also, coming up is Sleeping Without Entertainment is having an all-black party at Legends Sports Bar in Union City. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be on the 23rd. Let me see. It's going to be on November 22nd, Saturday, November 22nd. And I want you to have 2 tickets for you and the guests. And I want you to go. They're having a Sexy in Heels contest,
Okay.
So, just come through. It's an all-black party, and, just come and just socialize. Because basically a lot of people that we know are going to be there, and Sleeping Without always has excellent events, and it would be awesome to have you there.
Okay, definitely. I will definitely make this. I will definitely add this to my calendar. I'll be there. In my black.
Yes.
Thank you.
Is there anything that you wanted to add? Anything that I left out, or anything that you wanted to discuss?
I think we kind of covered quite a bit. I just want to say, get that book.
Get that. I read the reviews on Amazon, on Kindle. I read the reviews, and people are saying they cannot put it down, and they're already ready for part 2. Are you ready for part 2?
I'm working on part 2.
Oh, good.
I am working on part 2, and I hope to have 2 up and ready as soon as possible. I don't want to give a date because I don't want to be telling any stories here.
Right.
But I am working on part 2, and I am giving part 2 everything.